The numbers are showing.
Seminoles and Demon Deacons. Conference opener for Wake Forest. Deeks control the opening tap. Kaya Harrison initiate the offense underway. The Donald L. Tucker Center on a New Year's Eve. League play is here. First possession of the afternoon. The shot clock already down to 6. Open look, top of the key. That's a 3, and it's buried for the Demon Deacons, and an early advantage at 3-0 as Cowles connects. The starting 5 for the Seminoles: Latson, Tucker, Gordon, Bajetti, and Makayla Timpson. Number 22, Florida State. Foul call against Wake Forest.
And Makayla Timpson is somebody else to keep your eye on. 21 for Florida State. Her athleticism is off the charts. So she and Ta'Niya Latson are two of those younger players who really opened the eyes up of the ACC last year as Latson tries to hit a little fade away from the corner.
First foul was called on Scruggs. A look at the Deke starting 5. Harrison, Conley, Elise Williams, Scruggs, and Cowles. And the Deeks this season so far pace Kaya Harrison over 10 points per game. And Brooke, this really is a battle of contrasting tempos. Wake wants to slow it down. We know FSU wants to speed things up.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Wake wants to do. They have got to get the ball inside and then work their way out. You don't want to settle on threes. This is what you're going to get with Latson. Turn up those jets.
Coach Wyckoff told us yesterday in regards to
Her
Latson,
body
she's
control, Roy,
smart.
on the open floor is even better this year. You just see how she's able to avoid the defense and keep control while heading straight toward the bucket. That's what you see with Florida State. The efficiency of movement, of footwork, of the finish, it all comes together.
Scruggs off the bounce with the left hand, connects, and Wake Forest the 5-2 lead. I was going to say in regards to Latson, Coach Wyckoff said she's thinking ahead. You can tell the game is slowing down for her and finding different ways to score. As Gordon scores, she's averaging over 14 points per game and had 17 Friday against Georgia Tech.
The mental energy that it takes to go from high school to Division I, especially at a high level like the ACC. I mean, it's intense. And so for Latson now, she's talking more and able to be better on help side, be at places throughout the game where over time you're gonna get burned out. That's a great post hold inside by Cowles. Great start for Wake Forest here on the road.
Cowles with 5. That three-pointer she made just her 2nd of the season. Also passed up an open look from downtown on that last possession. Here's a steal. And the Deeks in transition. Offensive foul is called, and Bajetti drew the charge.
That was a good double team by Williams and Wake Forest to get the steal, and you pay the price of trying to drive too far into the lane and draw contact, right? Just pull up right there. Little drop, or stop it and pop the shot. Instead, you run into Bajetti, who is an elite defender. If anybody's gonna catch you on the charge, it's gonna be Sarah Bajetti.
Transfer from Arizona State. First foul on Elise Williams. 2nd team foul on the Deeks, and inside, Latson gets it done again.
And you see how she's able to take contact, still keep her head up, and finish high off the glass. That tells you that, to me, that says somebody's been in a weight room quite a bit and has put that work in.
Latson in a great groove to start off her sophomore season. They'll have a chance to lead the conference in scoring again. Over 650 points last year. Broke a conference record for most points by a freshman. Traveling by Cowles gives it back to the Noles.
Well, if you're Wake Forest, you want to make sure you get the ball out of your hands quickly. And you also want to try to just body up Ta'Niya Latson and maybe bring that double higher. Try to force her to shoot outside mid-range. Good deflection there inside the paint for Wake. The less they can have Florida State go on runs and slow this game down, the better chance that they have, you know, to get that win, and desperate one on the road, and the coach really wants to get.
Well, Cowles helped force the turnover on one end, couldn't catch up to the pass on the other. Megan Jebbia, year number 2, has been involved in a number of deep NCAA tournament runs. Stops at American University in Marist along the way. Team reached the WNIT last year. Had upset wins against two teams that made the Elite Eight in the Big Dance. 4 wins over NCAA tournament teams. Brooke, including a win against Florida State in the ACC tournament, and another charge taken this time by Gordon. Coach Gebbia has done some nice things in Winston-Salem early in her career.
Well, she's got confidence in her players and also just a realistic understanding of where her team is. And you mentioned that win in the ACC tournament last year. She said, hey, we learned more from the first 2 losses than I think we did, you know, in the win. And it was about shot selection and limiting the fouls. You see so far, Florida State starting to get those points off turnovers, creating another turnover here.
5 turnovers so far for the Deeks. FSU in transition. Latson bottled up. Gordon's got it. Here's Turnage in and out. Harrison showing off the handles. FSU with its first lead at 8-7.
Wake gonna utilize a lot of those high ball screens to try to pick and pop, get inside. And nice possession for them to get a good look. They have to stop some of these points, though. These transition points will start to kill you. You don't want a Florida State to get in that rhythm and to get in that pace. Well, Gordon coming off the dribble here. So good at finishing in the open floor, too. Small, but mighty.
3 different occasions last year, most recently in the ACC tournament in Greensboro. And what you know it, Florida State without the services of Ta'Niya Latson in that game. Got off to a good start. Wake Forest had just 2 points in the second quarter, but then exploded in the third to run away with it. Will Spear had a big afternoon, and Wake Forest was lost by just a singular point at home against the Seminoles less than 2 months prior. Pulled off the upset to advance in the ACC tournament. And talking to both coaches, yeah, that was a conversation with their 2 teams coming into this matchup. But Brooke, Wake Forest really did play Florida State tough after their initial loss here at the Tucker Center a year ago. And something to watch here today, perhaps.
I think they've learned a lot, you know, from those games last year. Coach Gebbia talking to us about not having 5-minute breakdowns and times where you're taking too many threes and just not attacking enough. So, you know, this Wake Forest team, she feels like is better disciplined on defense this year, but perhaps not quite there on offense. And Florida State showing some great length. I believe that was Timpson on that block.
Timpson had the block and the bucket on the other end. How about the English by Gordon? High off the glass, and Florida State leads it by 5.
Boy, you see a player like Gordon, and she's got hands. She controls the basketball so well, better than a 3-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. She's a great game manager, and she's always locked in.
A foul over the back on Bonner. That's going to be her first. Florida State in the midst of an 8-0 run. Wake Forest scoreless now in almost 4 minutes, and it's what Coach Gebbia told us she wants to avoid. But Gordon, boy, I tell you what, she can do a number of things inside in traffic.
Right, it never stops pursuing the basketball. You get the block there, and it wasn't actually Timpson on that block. Looked to be Latson. But Gordon, I mean, her confidence, she plays like she's 6'3". And that's one thing I love about her game. She's not afraid to go in there and go up against anybody.
Scruggs on the block, shot clock under 3. An outstanding defense by Turnage. When Latson has the basketball on the string, comes up short on the mid-range.
Well, that's what you want if you're Wake. You stop her mid-range, you force a turnaround, fadeaway shot. Too many steps, trying to get too deep once again in the paint. Just pull up and hit that little bank shot.
Deeks with 6 turnovers in the early going, and that is a concern for Coach Gebbia. Lead is 5. Wake Forest now almost 4.5 minutes since its last points.
Well, you know Florida State's not going to be a team turning the ball over. And for every 77 possessions, they are only turning the ball over about 11, 12 times a game.
Top 10 in the country. Got an offense that is explosive from downtown. Florida State leads the ACC in three-point percentage as a team. They're going to cause some damage. And the three by Williams makes it a one-possession game.
That's a good possession for Wake. Inside, defense gets sucked in, so you kick it opposite corner for an open three in rhythm.
Inside no by Timpson, and Wake trying to close out this first quarter in strong fashion. Another three.
Look at the speed of Majetti.
And the response by Bonner on the other end.
Okay, that right there, that three from Bonner, you can give a lot of credit to Majetti in giving her the confidence and the momentum to shoot that shot. All right, Majetti goes from 0 to 100 in the fast court. She passes with purpose in a great spot. So if I'm a shooter, I'm feeling really good about that catch and release.
Deacons back to work, 5 on the shot clock. Left side of the paint, and free throws coming for Kate Diebel.
Well, Coach Wyckoff talked to us, Roy, about her value and how she gets to the rim and the kick-out passes specifically. I mean, look, she was already taken off. Watch Majetti. She's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to go in. Right? She felt it too.
No, you make a great point, because there was a certain rhythm on that play where it felt like everything was in sync. Diebel 63% at the line. She's got one more coming. The redshirt freshman, Brisbane, Australia. Member of the 2021 FIBA Under-19 Women's World Cup team from down under.
Well, if anything, you know, basketball is a game of rhythm and flow and timing. So when you can get players all on that flow and rhythm, I mean, even though this possession got broken up, you felt that pace was there. Everybody was in the same wavelength. And so that's what Coach Wyckoff and her staff, that's what they interject to this team, is confidence through, we start with the footwork. That's a good take inside from Wake, going strong. Terkoff.
Riley Turkoff off the bench, the freshman from Jersey. It's a one-point game with about a minute to go in our first quarter. By the ball movement by the Seminoles. Here's Bonner.
Love the ball movement, love the defensive effort from Wake on this possession.
Tucker's shot was blocked. It was saved by Turkoff. But right back to FSU. And another steal and a foul call. Turkoff came up with it, or was that Diebel? It's Kate Diebel. And the Seminoles suddenly with 5 turnovers.
Exactly, that's exactly where I was going, Roy. It's Wake Forest's ability to disrupt this Florida State offense, you know, take away that transition, and then be patient on offense. This ball moving around the perimeter, that's a good little seal. Get some more points in the paint, which is exactly what Wake Forest wants to get.
Latson just picked up her first foul. 10-second differential between the clocks. And a deep three off the back iron. No, who wants the rebound? And ripped away by Williams. Shot clock is off. Beeks with a chance to regain the lead. Here comes Cowles, a little drop step, and the finish. And the Demon Deacons close the first 10 minutes in strong fashion with a 6-0 run to reclaim the lead at 16-15.
Well, Cowles, that was kind of...
You got 6 teams currently ranked in the top 25, including NC State, and with a great job done by Wes Moore as that team comes together with some new talent and new faces. But from top to bottom, you're not going to find a better conference in America in 2024.
Yeah, this league is stacked this season, no doubt about it. And you still have key injuries, you know, to teams and players out. We talked about Olivia Miles and Citron out for Notre Dame. But you just kind of go up and down the board. It's full of All-Americans. You know, Kitley, Georgia Amore at Virginia Tech, and what they've done. So this is a league that, you're probably looking at a good, strong 8 teams likely into that NCAA tournament. And I like how Brooke Wyckoff, too, challenged her team with a schedule as well. Went out to play West and Stanford, some of the Pac-12, or what's left of the Pac-12 teams, just to get some different styles. And that's what she loves to see, too, as well from her players. Just get to the rim and make it back to getting simple and regain this lead for Florida State.
Cowles just picked up her first foul. Look at Brooke Wyckoff, year number 2, her 13th season overall as a coach in Tallahassee, and of course played for the Seminoles 97 to 01 back in the day. The Jetty 1 of 2 at the stripe. You mentioned Stanford. Next year, that's a conference battle between Florida State and the Cardinals. If you can imagine that, it's going to feel a little different, isn't it?
That's awesome. I mean, it's a sad story for the Pac-12, and it's, I guess, ending. But for the ACC and the talent that's coming this way, like, yes, bring it on. Women's basketball is just enhancing by the day. There's young talent, great talent across the board, coast to coast. It's exciting.
Scruggs at the line after the foul by Turnage. 9 of 20 at the stripe this year. Just getting started here on this New Year's Eve. Got a 4-pack of games, including this one, including 3 more involving teams ranked inside the top 20. Notre Dame, Anna Hidalgo at Syracuse. That's up next at 2 Eastern, presented by Food Line. Then Louisville at Miami, another team that's been ranked this year. NC State, undefeated, travels to Charlottesville at 6 Eastern. See if the Wolfpack can keep things going in the right direction in impressive fashion. Coming up later, you're high on UVA. You think that's going to be a great game, Brooke?
It will be. I think Coach Mox has a great program put together, and UVA is coming off a hot shooting percentage here. They shot 54% in their last game, and Kamora Johnson as well had a season high 26 points. So that UVA-NC State matchup, well, that's going to be one to stick around and watch.
4 games on the network today, all 4 involving teams ranked in the top 25. Harrison the handles, an open look for Conley from downtown, no. And on the offensive glass is Cowles in a fresh 20 seconds.
How about Cowles pulling that offensive board down between 3 Seminoles and Timpson? Get back in that defensive action. She's so quick and athletic in the way she reads the basketball.
Up and in by Gordon.
Circus shot. Not a problem for number 3.
Well, you mentioned Timpson. Coach Wyckoff very high on how she's progressed this year, leading rebounder. You think by the time her career's over in Tallahassee, she's already a junior, but you think she can be quite special.
And the next level for Timpson is going to be to play and unleash that edge that she's got inside as Bigetti hits the 3 off of the assist. Another one for Florida State. But you can see it in Timpson. Like, it's in there. The beast is in there. So it's about getting in there and just trying to get her to play to that potential. And that's what Coach Wyckoff, her staff, they are great at doing that, bringing the most out of their players.
Off the bounce, no for Turkoff. Florida State the other way. Well, the hesitation and a foul call as Gordon tried to hit that second gear again towards the rim.
That help side block. Straight up in the air, and it'll lead to this nice kick out 3. Just drive, dish, rhythm 3, knock it down.
21-17 our score. Timpson wearing number 21 in honor of her head coach. Brooke Wyckoff wore 21 at Florida State as well. I thought that was a neat story, just how those two are connected.
It's pretty amazing, too, to look at the numbers and understand why this team plays so hard and loves Coach Wyckoff the way they do, just as she loved Coach Semra. There's a certain type of energy and spirit when you're even just in a Zoom call. I mean, we felt that. You mentioned it. You got a Zoom call with Brooke, and 10 minutes into it, you feel like y'all go way back. And she's got the ability to instill so much confidence and empower her young players. Hey, you step on the floor, you have the ability to take a jump shot. And so it's great for a player like Timpson to honor her in that way.
Off the inbounds, the mid-range there for Elise Williams.
Wake's doing a great job of keeping Florida State's guards as best they can in front of them. They're still getting deep in the lane, but you got help side. And you got a foul drawn there. Great job by Jetty to get that. I think the Wake Forest defense is doing a solid job on Florida State today. Just make plays and get the shots that are open for you. And sometimes you just can't hesitate. I like that's how Williams plays. Like, to me, she plays with no hesitation. She's going to go out there and make plays, and I'm trying to understand how she got called for that last foul.
Her second. Coach Gebbia is going to have a conversation with Elise Williams on the bench, give her a breather with those 2 personal fouls. But Jetty back at the line. One of the best free throw shooters in America. 2 of 3 today. Look at her production and how it's been on the up and up the last 6 contests, Brooke.
Really coming into her own, and also known as one of the best, and possibly the best defender in the ACC. So you look at the offensive numbers and then matching what she brings you on the defensive end. Between what she and Gordon offer at that guard position, you can see what makes Florida State part of the reason they're so fast. We asked Coach Wyckoff, all right, who's going to win in a down and back race between Gordon and Bajetti? And she's like, I don't know. But you put 8 seconds up on that clock, and I bet you they get down and back.
Holds another bucket. She's got 9. The lead down to 2, and Wake Forest doing a great job of hanging around in this game on the road against top 25 FSU. Gordon off the mark, tracked down by Wake Forest. Deeks with a chance to tie it. Off the skip pass.
Well, I like the way that Wake spread the floor on that possession. And talking about having to play half court and slow it down. Latson going to take contact, but still stick with the play.
Third opportunity for the Noles, and a foul called, and that's going to put Sakaya White at the strike.
So Wake getting the bucket inside off of great passing and patience, and this is good execution on the offensive end. Now on the other side, in the second quarter especially, this is what Coach Gebbia was talking to us about, you know, breaking down, fouling more in the second quarter, trying to get and keep that flow when you have subs coming in and out of the game. This second quarters have been an issue throughout the season for Wake Forest.
You mentioned, told you about the ACC tournament upset win against the Seminoles in Greensboro last year by the Deeks. And Wake scored just 2 points those 10 minutes of the second quarter of that one. Then it really exploded to start the third quarter with 29 points to create that separation that was really the difference that afternoon. White fell down, but she was bumped. Scruggs just picked up her second personal. So Scruggs with 2, Elise Williams with 2 for Wake Forest.
I mean, this is tough as a Wake Forest team where you've got 4 players averaging about 35 minutes or playing close to 35 minutes in a game. So you don't have a lot of room for error. And again, the second quarter problematic for Wake Forest. So it's trying to get over that hump. Sometimes it's your legs giving out that mid-second quarter. So you got to really dig in a little bit deeper conditioning-wise, and it'll come to with reps. Remember, this is still a team that Coach said we're a better defensive team this year, maybe not better offensively. Trying to put all those pieces together is a difficult one, especially in ACC play.
White 1 of 2 at the line. 4-point lead for number 22 FSU. Wrapping up 2023 calendar today at the Tuck. Rebound by the Noles, and here comes FSU, and it's Bajetti. Bonner 1-on-3. How about the look and the finish? Well, a great dime dropped.
And when you get the dime to go along with the bucket, it gives everybody that feel-good type of situation offensively for Florida State, who surprisingly, Roy, though, is just at 3 assists right now in the game. And I think you can credit that to Wake Forest defense, and they have been able to slow down that transition for Florida State.
Harrison, the crossover, the penetration, and the block inside. A late whistle. And Sakaya White with the contact means 2 free throws coming for Kaya Harrison after this quick break. Florida State, though, with a 6-point advantage, their largest of the afternoon. And the dime dropped beautifully as Bonner is able to spot White for the easy 2.
Reasons why. Malaya Gordon, number 3, shooting 4 of 6 on the afternoon. She's got 8 points. She wastes no steps. She gets right into the paint where she needs to go. If she doesn't have a shot, she finds an open Pagetti. You got the assist to go along with a couple of buckets. She's also got 4 rebounds on the day, Roy. Big player.
5'4", the junior guard from Bradenton, Florida, Malaya Gordon. Her dimes have gone way up since last year, minutes per game, and that's always a big thing. But the one thing Coach Wyckoff reminded us about, you know, she's been injured, and right now you're seeing the player that we recruited to Tallahassee for the first time at full strength. She's the second leading scorer, had 17 and 7 against Georgia Tech on Friday. So clearly her best basketball is still well ahead of her here in Tallahassee.
Yep, Coach Wyckoff talked about how well she's taking care of her body and her recovery, getting in the training room when she needs to, and how much of a steady presence she is. And you might see this look here in a few more years after Gordon's done playing to be that assistant coach right next to Coach Wyckoff, because it was funny to hear Brooke say she always makes the right read. Even when I think I'm going to question her call, she makes the right call, looks at me, and just kind of says, you know, thanks, Coach, I got it. So you're probably looking at a future head coach in the making in Gordon.
Diebel drew the charge on Pagetti. That's her 2nd foul. Deacons back to work, search of a bucket to make it a 1-possession game. And on the move was Harrison. Turns it over.
Let's watch the defense of Pagetti. Look how well she's able to move her feet, not use her hands in front of the defense, and create the turnover. Okay, Latson. You know I love a little mid-range, Roy, that pull-up. Nice jumper.
Getting buckets, she's got 6. It's kind of been a methodical approach. 3rd leading scorer in the ACC coming in, and Ta'Niya Latson.
Great look.
Coles would love to have that one back. Just missed it from point-blank range. Largest lead for Florida State at 7. And a chance to seize control right before halftime. Pagetti, the runner now. Off the hesitation, Turkoff off the mark.
Well, for Wake.
Latson 1-on-3, the dump off.
I was about to say for Wake, I don't know if this is the pace they want to stick around with. They save themselves there with the missed shot to slow things back down to the half court. I would love to see them utilize some more of that either high-low action or some ball screens. Try to get that ball inside. There it is, little backdoor. Great cut and read by Wake Forest.
Now Turkoff with 4. Turkoff, the number 85 prospect in the country, according to ESPNW. True freshman inside, and the basket by Latson. She has 8.
That's an incredible angle and footwork. That's like getting as low as a Kyrie Irving type to turn that corner and get up to the rim. It takes incredible skill.
Lead back to 7. Cole's thinking about the baseline. And the shot clock already down to 8. Here's Diebel off the screen. That's a 3, no. Back to the Noles.
slows down the offense, and the great way to break defensive pressure is to try to go backdoor. And it's not often you're going to catch Bajetti on a backdoor play, so kudos to Wake Forest on that one.
Florida State predicted to finish 5th in the ACC preseason poll this year. Similar range from where they've been the last couple of years, and with Wyckoff a year ago, the team able to exceed expectations in that regard, reaching the NCAA tournament a year ago. Deeks will get it back with 95 seconds to go in our first half.
I've been talking to Coach yesterday. She mentioned how wide open how wide open the ACC is, and she said, "Hey, we can go out there and win it. We've had confidence in the losses that we've taken, even in non-conference, the way that we've been able to compete with different types of teams, see different styles." So I think this Florida State team feels like the next level for them is that ACC regular season or tournament championship.
Look across the conference, we've talked a little bit about NC State, ranked number 3 right now in the AP Top 25. You and I have our eyes on Notre Dame a little bit. You're going to see the Fighting Irish as soon as we're done here today in Tallahassee. They'll travel to Syracuse. They're ranked in the top 15. You haven't heard about Hannah Hidalgo yet or seen her play. Stay tuned for that. But Notre Dame is only going to get stronger as well, potentially with Olivia Miles and Sonia Citron gaining health and strength in 2024. Latson nearly had a steal and was off to the races.
Yeah, if you're not watching the Hannah Hidalgo show, you're going to need to tune in, because this young lady is doing things that is changing the game, opening eyes across the board. I mean, this is a young freshman carrying a team with major injuries, major starters out, and still putting up these kind of numbers. Came off a near quadruple double a couple weeks ago when you saw her play against Purdue. That very next weekend put up a triple double in a game that I called before. So just incredible numbers and performance from someone who's taken the ACC by storm.
Diebel just picked up her first. Ta'Niya Latson at the line. She's got 8 points so far today and 87% at the stripe. Don't forget, coming up next Saturday, got more men's basketball headed your way. Our first triple header of 2024. Virginia travels to Raleigh. Coming up at 2 Eastern next Saturday. Virginia Tech right here in Tallahassee at 4. The number 16 Duke in South Bend against Notre Dame. Fighting Irish with a big win against Virginia yesterday in South Bend. That's next Saturday here on ACC Network. Also on the ESPN app. 9-point lead for the Noles. Less than a minute to go in the half. FSU with its largest lead so far. Here's Diebel attacking. No. Cowles lost the rebound. And here come the Seminoles. Timpson just ripped it away, and that's a 3. Villegas off the bench from downtown, and the lead swells to 12.
Right, I don't think that ball came below her shoulders off the pass. I think she caught it and launched the shot. That was pretty smooth.
Harrison's got to go, forces one up and in, and that's a big bucket right before the buzzer to cut the lead to 10 as we enter halftime in Tallahassee.
Yes, and you know, with the 10-point lead, they're in a comfortable spot to start this third quarter. And you think about for Wake wanting to slow things down as they get a 3 to start this second half from Latson. You know, Wake limiting them to 34 possessions is a good thing for them. Florida State's averaging 77 a game, so that tells you that yes, Wake is slowing them down somewhat, but Florida State still shooting pretty well from the floor today, actually really well at 51.9%.
With a 3 by Latson, she's got 13. The Noles 4 of 8 from deep. Cowles tries another 3. She hit 1 in the first half, just her second of the season. 1 of 2 in the game as the jetty was bumped on the drive.
Brooke Wenkoff talked to us about Ta'Niya's three-point shooting and how much better it's gotten, her range, and just even the quickness in how she set herself up for that. The cut, the footwork from the catch, the plant, the finish. Even though that was a miss, you can just see how controlled she is when she goes up for shots. She's so athletic, and I think last year it was try to force her left and try to get in front of her. Maybe you can get a foul or a charge called, but she's really figuring out how to avoid those contacts and those cheap fouls, getting pulled out of the game early. And just so smart with the way that she's seeing the floor.
It's one thing Coach Wyckoff said too, that there was a lot of discipline involved for progression this year. Harrison tried to feed the post, and that's a turnover. Gordon comes away with it. She said she's not forcing shots, she's not taking bad shots. She's in rhythm, she's under control, and it's not just discipline in terms of defense where the footwork has improved. It's the shot selection, it's the entire body of work that has been the difference maker for Ta'Niya Latson. Latson,
and when players can really buy into that, yes, it's your skill and your physical abilities, and once you can combine how much mental energy it takes, to play defense, to communicate, to be in the right spot, to take good shots. As the game's going on, right, as your body's getting tired, can you keep your mentality sharp? Can you keep that edge? And when you see that in players, and when you see them commit to film, and they have the production that they have. I mean, look at Latson's last 4 games. She is balling out, putting up 30 pieces left and right.
Harrison spins in the second free throw. Foul was called on Alexis Tucker, her first. Diebel checks back in for the Deeks, who now trail by 12. Latson's pass nearly picked off cleanly by Williams. Couple of stars with a wry grin in each other's direction after that exchange. Tips it inside, created real estate and the bucket.
And a good no call by the officials there for Timpson to get that deep position and try to make the easy play. Just turn around and shoot it. But even the way she does that, right? The catch, when she gets up and she elevates, it's so quick from the time her feet leave the floor to where her hands get so high. I mean, my guess is she could probably grab the rim.
Inside Scruggs, a power finish. Our veteran officiating crew today, Carla Fountain, Katie Lukanich, and Brian Burnett. We'll clip off that last audio segment as Rick Weisbrod complimenting the officials. That's always pleasant to hear on a New Year's Eve.
Hey, new year, new me, boy. Let's go. Well, my resolution,
I'll believe it when I see it.
Be nicer to officials in 2024.
Latson,
okay.
How about the finish?
The hang time. Again, contact, up in the air, has to redirect her shot and still finishes. You just love to watch someone play when they're able to create on the fly the way that she does.
And again, under control, not forcing the issue. A quiet 15 points today. Just going about her business on the way to her typical 20-point, 4-rebound game.
Oh, she can finish with 30 now.
Scruggs, good pump fake and finish again.
I like how powerful and explosive she is. You know, when she gets that ball right there close to the block, you're not going to be able to strip the ball away. She carries it strong and goes up. Latson slicing through, finishing with some flair. Oh my goodness, that was nice.
Back in Tallahassee, 43-31. Rick Weisbrod, Roy Philpott. Glad you could join us. Happy New Year. Seminoles get it back after the layup by Scruggs, who now has 7. Under 7 to go in a fast-moving third quarter. Here's Bajetti, split the double team, and she'll shoot a pair.
You see how Florida State's guards, especially Bajetti, Gordon, of course we've seen Latson do it all game. The second they get the ball, their feet are in place to make a move or do something with it. I mean, the athleticism, yes, is a part of their game. But I think what a lot of people would love to know about the way that Florida State's guards and their whole team, they're taught from their footwork up, right? So as soon as you catch the ball, it's a 1-2, get my feet set, get ready to make that move, that triple threat. So it puts everybody in that scoring mindset.
Top free throw shooters on the planet, Sarah Bajetti. 4-5 at the line. 45-31 our score. We'll talk about it after she makes the two, right?
That's right. Hold your breath.
The announcer jinx is real at the line. I don't care what anybody says. Any level of basketball, you have to be careful how you approach those moments. That's a three from the corner by Diebel, and she splashes that one home.
Set up the pass. Williams thought she's going to take it home, but Diebel was waiting out there in the corner. And badly needed bucket for Wake Forest.
Deeks get it back off the rebound. Williams will walk it up the court. A bucket here, and all of a sudden things start to tighten up a little bit. Conley.
You know, Wake have hit their last 3 of 3, and perhaps make that 4 in a row.
Holds inside, a smooth operator, now in double figures with 11. And the lead down to 9. It was 14 just a couple of minutes ago. Latson off the pump fake. For a moment, it almost felt like that was a lob to Timpson. At the bottom of the rim, and Deacons will get it back.
That may be the first time I've seen Latson take a shot where I'd say, okay, she was not in control there, and maybe it was an attempted pass, but I got kind of more the sense it was an underhand scoop shot. It's not a great possession for Florida State. They haven't gotten into that flowing out rhythm of fast break yet. And it's like that'll be a tie-up out of bounds to Wake.
7 on the shot clock, 5:05 to go in the third. Deacons with a little bit of mojo as Latson will get a breather.
So Latson, Williams kind of going at each other, and Bijetti having to give a little help. Gives enough room for Diebel to get that 3 off.
Shot clock at 5. Deeks got to go. Connolly, a desperation heave. The defense by FSU, the rebound by Timpson. That's a 3 for Bijetti. The rebound by Bonner, up and in.
That's a big board by Bonner. Not only got to deal with Timpson and her athleticism, but Bonner's going to give it to you as well. It's a great read and put back quickly from Florida State.
47-36. Bulls corrals it. They've gotten away with a travel. Timpson hit the deck, still no whistle.
Coach Chevy is pleading to the referees to get that call. And Bijetti can't finish on the fast break anyways. She'll help a photographer back up off the floor. Good assist there.
That's a 3 by Connolly, and a big shot for the Demon Deacons to lead down to 8.
And I was going to say, maybe paid off for Wake Forest at the other end with that 3, and it did. Catching Florida State in a bit of a lull here. Demon Deacons trying to make that furious comeback here in the third quarter. We mentioned the second was tough, playing strong here in the third. Well, the offensive board's been kind to Florida State. There's 1 of their 4 on the afternoon, able to put 2 back. Wake answers with a 3 from deep. Here come the Deacons.
Brand new ball game back in Tallahassee inside the Tucker Center. The lead is 8 for number 22 Florida State, just getting started. The ACC network today, we've got 4 ranked teams in action, including the Noles, who have led by as many as 14. Brooke Weisbrod, Roy Philpott, what's been the difference in your opinion these last 2 minutes to put the Deacons back in it? Maybe a chance to cut it to a 2-possession game here.
To me, it's, you know, we've talked a lot about the word discipline today. I think it's been their discipline on offense and their ability to go inside. I think Cowles has been a monster in this game, and the more that they can get her touches in the paint, I think the more successful their chances are to score here. And meanwhile, Florida State with Latson back in, let's see if they can find that flow. You know, they've yet to really put together that continuous fast break offense, and another turnover for the Noles here, that one by White.
11th of the game. Deacons get it back. They did get Cowles a touch on the other end. She missed the layup in traffic. Brooke Wyckoff trying to navigate this treacherous early season schedule. Noles will be at NC State on Thursday night. Wake Forest gets Virginia Tech and Winston-Salem on Thursday as well. at Duke Louisville Thursday night here on the network. That's going to be a fun one. Deeks back to work. How about the cut? And inside, Harrison could not finish.
I mean, those are two critical inside buckets that you've got to hit. 3 minutes left here in the third quarter. You've had a great run so far. You already put up 13 points in this third. We only put up 10 in the second. But you have to be able to convert in plays like that. And it would have cut this lead down significantly if they hit those two shots and you had this missed bucket by Florida State.
Villegas, the quick trigger. When she gets the ball high, will not bring it down and release that three. She made one in the second quarter, nearly made that one.
Certainly a different style to watch and appreciate.
From Spain is Diebel attacks. And the rebound controlled by White. Knowles turn it over again. They're 12.
I know that feeling. And Latson, you know, another rare moment. Get ahead of herself, perhaps. That's just a full head of steam getting down the floor, which you love to see it. Maybe a deflection, too. Jordan might have gotten her hand on that ball.
Well, Brooke, to your point, Wake Forest has missed 4 layups this afternoon, 3 by Coles. Otherwise, game feels a little different. How about in traffic? And now it's 47-41. The bucket by Harrison, who has 6.
I like that. Good for Harrison to get back in this game. And she's kind of been struggling from the floor today, just 2 or 5. But there's a quick crossover. She got a shot right in the middle of the paint. Didn't try to go in too deep and end up getting rejected by Florida State. Now here you are, just 6 points separate you and the 22nd ranked team in the country.
Lise Williams, the monster drop step, no. And a scrum with the jump ball. The arrow favors Wake Forest.
This powerful crossover against Latson to elevate and get up over her reach, because Latson can block some shots now too. Harrison kind of feeling that angst. You can feel the frustration in that play and in her game. And so close for this team to want to get that win on the road. ACC is just so tough.
First time it's been a 2-possession game since there was 2:39 to go in the half. Open look for Jordan. Tracked down by the Deeks, and a fresh 20 for Elise Williams.
Williams had a jab step in baseline, totally open, and decided to pass it back out. Surprised she didn't try to take that right to the rack.
Harrison again, the crossover. Under control and too strong. Turnage the rebound. .60 seconds to go in the third. Deacons are back in it. Latson off the mark. Florida State now without a bucket in almost 4 minutes.
Now both teams really hitting that wall.
To slow it down.
And Wake, one of their last 7. Florida State, 5 turnovers in the last almost 6 minutes of play. And this game, we thought, was going to be a pretty fast-paced game, at least from Florida State side. And Coach Gebbia wanted this exactly right here, this pace. To be within 6 heading into the 4th, I think you're in a great spot if you're Wake Forest.
She kind of forecasted, if we don't get in foul trouble, I like our chances to have an opportunity here to steal one on the road in the 4th quarter. And lo and behold, that's kind of been the case. Williams had 2 in the first half. Scruggs did as well, but they've stayed away from that third personal here in our 3rd quarter. The shot clock off. Deeks will have a chance for one more possession. Williams thinking about it. The pump fake, no. Scruggs on the offensive glass, no. And the 3rd quarter comes to a close. The lead down to 6. It was once 14. We've got 10 to play here in Tallahassee.
Just go out there and start to make some plays, and I think that's what we saw Wake do after some scoring droughts. And meanwhile, this is what we've been waiting to see from Timpson all day, who's just got her 6th point of the game. To me, Roy, she's capable of doing that at any time. So she doesn't get a lot of touches, though, because Florida State is such a guard-driven team.
Timpson with 6 points, 6 rebounds. The lead back to 8. Every possession critical for the Deeks. Trying to steal an upset win on the road, and Scruggs missed a layup.
So with those three
left
layups
open.
missed by Wake Forest, they'd be looking at the lead right now. And they've been fortunate for Florida State to miss some shots. But this is the type of energy you want from Wake. You know, going into the fourth quarter, now you really have to almost play more aggressively than Florida State. But this is what you get inside with Timpson. And I think if you need a bucket and you just are looking for efficiency, I think Timpson can get you at the rim. She can get you at foul, get you to the foul line, offensive board. She does all the important things for a team driven by guards.
Don't forget, coming up Thursday night, the Nothing But Net crew will break down everything happening in the ACC, highlights and analysis of every women's game. We told you about some of the big matchups coming, including two involving these two teams. Coverage you can only find in one place, right here on the ACC network, also on the ESPN app. That's Wednesday night, 10 Eastern on ACC. Got Duke Louisville Thursday, NC State hosting these Florida State Seminoles. In a top 25 showdown, Virginia Tech heads up to Winston-Nevada, Wake Forest. So a couple of free throws by Harrison. She's got 8. Deeks get it back, trailing by just 6 on the road.
You see that 1-4 offense. So 4 players across that free throw line. They started high, and that can open up some backdoor and inside buckets for Wake Forest. See good positioning inside. And a kick out.
Coles baseline. Used the rim as protection, couldn't finish. Maya Bonner in transition, too strong. Timpson on the offensive glass. And she's going to shoot 2 as Coles did her best to try to reject that layup and couldn't do it. Foul be called on Connolly. That's her 3rd.
We just said, what can Timpson give you late in the game? What do you need, an offensive board? You need to get to the free throw line? No problem. She's going up against 3 Demon Deacons. And not having a huge stat line today, but at the same time, you know she's capable of double-double on any given night.
Well, she averages 13 and 9.5 rebounds per game.
I mean, can we round that up to 10?
I mean, we can, and of course, defensively, the blocks are right up there at the top of the conference, almost 3 per contest. So she's still stuffing the stat sheet, even if the points aren't there necessarily so far today.
No doubt.
1 of 2 at the line. Where's the offense going to come from Wake Forest? Really push this to a 1-possession game potentially. Shot clock under 5. Diebel, the step back 3. Rainbow, and not that time.
Well, they made Florida State play an entire possession of defense, but the way the Seminoles guarded that possession was great. Ended up in a tough 3. But do not pay it off on the other end. Keep Wake Forest around in this game. As you get closer, you definitely don't want this half-court pace to continue. Florida State still would love to get into a rhythm, even if it's just a 6-0, 9-0 run.
Inside to Coles, muscles that one up and in. She's got 13. Important to note, too, Ta'Niya Latson remains on the bench for head coach Brooke Wyckoff, and we'll see how much longer that's the case. And just like that, there's the call. Numeral 00, getting set to check back in as the lead is down to just 5. Make it 7.
It's a tough bucket. Just Gordon bodying up once again. Finding some space inside. I mean, that's why Brooke Wyckoff talked about how she's their steady presence. Get something done, you put the ball in the hands of Gordon, and she's going to make the right read.
Gordon in double figures with 10. Coles double team. Spots Diebel. Off the bounce. Back to Coles. Patient finish. Give her 15.
Looked like a possession of zone that time, too, for Florida State. So great execution, discipline from Wake. You see what happens when they're able to drive, spread the floor, and not panic. I think that's the difference, Rory, in what you're seeing when they get good shots to great shots.
Timpson up and in.
Very business-like approach to her game.
Scruggs does have the three-point shot in her arsenal. Left-handed delivery, well short. Big possession for FSU. And Gordon has it poked out. 23 to shoot. Ta'Niya Latson now at full strength coming back in. A good look into Cowles, Brooke.
Yeah, I like that drive and dish. And then just watch how Timpson, she makes it look like it's the easiest thing in the world, the way she's able to gather herself, pick up and glide, hang time, and then shoot the basketball.
And Bridgetti touched by Conley. That's her fourth personal. Jetty makes a lot of things happen. This Florida State team. Her and Gordon and Latson got a lot happening on the perimeter. Lob to Latson. Blocked out of bounds by Cowles.
How about the help side coming over from Cowles? That's a big time defensive presence. And now you mentioned those three guards. I mean, the speed combined from all three of those. It's just unbelievable. Latson, tough catch. Good block. It was a big possession, as you mentioned, Roy. Foul for Wake.
Cowles reaching in. Just her second personal for 5 in black. The lead at 7. Critical moment in this game, and you wonder which way is it going to swing. Do we come down to the very end in a 1 or 2 possession contest, or does Florida State pull away? Back-to-back fouls by Cowles, and that second one, which is her third personal, is going to put Timpson back at the line.
And she must have gotten her on the arm on the way up. See a critical substitution now. Coach Debbie has to make for Wake Forest. And remember, in the women's game too, once you reach those 5 fouls, you start shooting free throws. So Wake not putting themselves in a great spot here with over 5.5 minutes left to play.
Yeah, great point. One more for Timpson. 64% at the line this year. 3 of 4 today. In the lead. The blink of an eye, back to 9. Back to the zone. Lise Williams. Scruggs up and in, and a powerful finish.
Well, Williams got to the right spot against that zone in the middle of the paint, and then Williams, a good offensive rebound. Those paint points have been so big for Wake, some of their offensive putbacks. They have 9 of them today. Okay,
good
pass.
Look inside to Latson.
A nice crispy pass inside.
Alexis Tucker has been held in check today without a point, but brilliant look inside to the cutting Ta'Niya Latson. Ebel off the mark from deep. Latson's going to push it, 1-on-2. And ahead of the pack was Scruggs. Bumped and fouled. You know, Wake Forest semi-fortunate there. That was a chaotic transition.
Looks like he's been giving it their all. The pace has been there at times, the physicality there all the time. Wake getting some points inside. Florida State with the answer and the lead.
Chance to check out Hannah Hidalgo, the talented freshman for the Fighting Irish. You see those numbers, that only tells part of the story as Scruggs inside. Head to the free throw line to shoot 2.
You know, you're right about Hidalgo. The numbers are so outstanding, and it just tells you, when you look at the amount of injuries that Notre Dame has dealt with, and that she's carrying it as a freshman again, it's just truly outstanding in the type of conference that we're in, right? So if she's able to carry these numbers throughout the season, it's truly historic type of performance. You know, not only that, she's earned the respect of players, coaches, media across the country, named as a top 10 player as a freshman. Top 10 in the whole country, y'all. Doing it.
Deeks have cut it down to 5 points twice here in the fourth quarter. They trail by 8. Scruggs 1 of 2 at the line. Deeks now need a couple of stops as Bajetti thinks about operating in traffic. She'll get it back. That's a corner three that's short. And here comes Elise Williams for Wake Forest.
I think Wake's got to go back inside, try to get a touch in the paint or a shot in the paint. They'll pick up a foul.
14 foul on the Noles, so Wake will be shooting free throws rest of the way.
I'd say Cowles or Scruggs are the two players you want to try to identify and try to get a touch them. And Harrison's done a good job too, and driving and creating just a distraction for the defense. They have to pay attention to her.
Last foul was on Bajetti, her third. Scruggs did a great job to just track that down without an over and back violation. Shot clock at 5. And traveling the call before the shot, Kate Diebel turns it over.
I'm going to disagree with that travel call right there.
Goodwill for our veteran officiating crew eliminated quickly.
I say I disagree. I don't know if that was being too critical now. But to me, that was just a gather step, getting ready to shoot it. And in a critical time for Wake Forest, too. You know, they lose that possession. Anyone they can get. They capitalize on plays like that, though.
Williams with 7. The lead down to 6. Is it Latson time? The answer is yes. Shots coming at the line for Ta'Niya Latson, who's got 17 points already.
Good hands by Scruggs inside, and the finish and the drive, just maybe a lapse in defense and the help side from Florida State, not coming over to seal off. And of course, Latson doing what she does best, get downhill, find that contact, and still find a way to get a shot off.
Ta'Niya Latson, one of the most sensational players in college basketball this year. Preseason All ACC, led the conference in scoring a year ago. 3rd in the league so far in 2023-24. And you have to imagine that average at over 20 points per, probably going to climb the next couple of weeks. She had 30 Friday against Georgia Tech.
Right, big games against big teams, Power 5 conferences, and connecting from the free throw line as well. I mean, she has got a complete game, is only getting better. It's going to be fun to really watch the way that she breaks open and shines even more. And then Timpson, when she gets out. Are you kidding me with that crossover? Are you kidding me? That was so quick. What a move by Latson.
Crossover and the finish in traffic, splitting defenders everywhere.
I mean, you give me a little Euro while you're at it too now. Okay.
She split a double team, it felt like twice, including on the release of that shot.
Yeah.
And she's got 22 points all of a sudden.
Right, not only was it the crossover, but you had the double, it felt like the double step through. I mean, the difficulty it took to make that shot, the concentration. And that's where the mental energy is. It's another level, right? To be able to hit that shot this late in the game, that tells you she's made progress. Speaking of big shots late in the game.
Connolly from deep, the lead back to 8. Wake Forest hanging around. Latson, no. Diebel the rebound. Williams pass intercepted by Timpson. And here comes Latson, up and in.
Wow. How quick was that? Cowles had great position inside. You heard her call for the ball, but the pass came too late, and Ta'Niya Latson turned that defense into offense like a light switch.
Cowles bumped inside. She's going to shoot 2. The Ta'Niya Latson takeover nearly completed our fourth quarter. 24 points, 5 rebounds, and taking this game over. A little coast to coast.
Right, just driven. You see the concentration in that young woman's face. It's like those WNBA scouts who might be watching this game or go back and look at her stats. She's going to produce against the best talent in the country. And the best players they rise up in key moments of the game. She took over this game in the last few minutes. We were joking in the commercial saying, all right, I'm done playing with y'all. But that's exactly the mentality that Latson has had out there on the floor.
Deeks 9 of 14 at the line. They've missed those points today. Token full court pressure, the 1-2-2. Latson beats it. Gets it back. 26 on the board.
A 30-piece is still possible.
That it is. She scored 11 in a row now for FSU. And the Noles sensing this one is theirs. Ta'Niya Latson, the first 16 minutes of this game, scored just 4 points. Since then, she's added 22. Timpson, meanwhile, has another double-double. That's her 20. Gordon inside, no. Timpson the rebound. Stolen by Scruggs. Stolen back by Latson. And a Euro step right into Scruggs is going to result in 2 free throws.
And how about Latson? You know, coming in as a guard, able to actually knock down Scruggs with that contact. Look how quick she is. Just anticipation, saw it coming. How does Scruggs end up on the floor in that exchange? Just incredible strength, quickness, and reactions from Latson.
Perfect at the line, 6 for 6. 55 seconds remaining. Rattles home the second, now with 27. Just getting started here on ACC Network. 3 more games headed your way. All 3 matchups involving top 25 teams. Top conference in college basketball. Latson nearly forced another turnover. Brooke, a good way to close down 2023 for us, Tallahassee, this afternoon.
Yeah, just a good performance. You know, we expected this to be a Florida State you know, pace-led game, and it really wasn't. I think Wake Forest did a great job of coming in and saying, you know, we're not going to let you play complete the way and the style that you want. And then Latson, late game, is doing what she does. All-American status, has that edge to her, that next level to get those wins when she feels like, hey, I got to be the dominant person to score for our team.
Going to double-check that last sequence to make sure that the ball should stay with Wake Forest. Latson defending, and you wondered for a moment if that was last touch by Conley, but I believe it was off of Latson's left foot. By the way, Brooke, she scored the last 15 points for FSU.
That's unbelievable. You talk about a player taking over, it tells you right there, numbers don't lie.
Got 28. Step back 3. That one splashes down. Lead down to 10. Deeks running out of time. Gordon's going to dribble through the entire defense.
Yeah, gonna be hard to catch up to Gordon, even if you want to commit a foul.
Last 3 by Diebel. She has 8 points today. If that was on Conley, she just fouled out, and it is. Conley heads to the bench. 2 free throws for Gordon. Noles will be up in Raleigh on Thursday night in a game that's got all kinds of early season implications. On the road at Clemson. They travel down Interstate 85, then North Carolina, Virginia Tech. Top 25 teams all over the slate coming up in early January.
Yeah, exactly. You don't get a break whatsoever, but you do get North Carolina and Tech at home. Her in their exhibition game that she was not able to be there for. And you're right, everything you described about Brooke and her personality, her energy, and just the way that she's able to be positive about life. I mean, that affects everyone, from her staff to her players' university. I mean, she's one of the most well-liked coaches throughout the business and has done nothing but connect people and women in coaching throughout her career. Of course, a wonderful mom to her daughter, Avery. and truly just an inspirational person. You go above and beyond being a basketball coach and what she's able to do and influence young women. And everybody she's come in contact with just kind of gets that same vibe. Just what a terrific, unbelievable human being she is. We're so grateful that she is back healthy on the sidelines this year.
You mentioned the possibility of a 30-piece. Ta'Niya Latson, 2 free throws here. It's exactly where she's going to end up. And how about starting ACC play with back-to-back performances of 30 points.
There. Talking about the 30-piece before she hit that second free throw, man. I like it, though. I like the confidence in you, boy. This is a new you.
Hey,
come on.
We got some swagger headed into 2024. 73-59, Elise Williams. One more step back jumper. Swish that one home. And that will be our final score in Tallahassee. 73-61. Wake Forest falls to 4-9. 0-1 in the ACC. And the Seminoles set to skyrocket to the top 25 after another